Welcome back to the beautiful gamepad here on the Lithium Project channel, and we are hammering through the International Superstar Soccer handheld games. This, as you can see, is ISS 2000 for the Game Boy Color. No music, no fancy intro. It's a nice logo. The arrow spinning, that's it's a nice little trick if you really look at it, because it gives the impression that it's spinning, but it is just like the arrows kind of compressing and expanding. Nice. That's the sort of thing I would never have kind of looked at or thought about 2-3 years ago. Fancy little menu. This has a very different look to it. Thinking about it now, like thinking about the ISS 2000, which we didn't get a 2000 on the PlayStation, so this is a port of the N64 game, which had the kind of Y2K aesthetic going on. And I feel like this is doing a minimalized version of that, if you will. Okay, so pretty much all the same there, that's fine. Presentation wise, so far, I'm on board with this. Let's see if we got real players yet. Because I think it said it had some real players in 2000 for the N64. Don't know if that carries over to the Game Boy Color. Who shall I be? Who haven't we played as? You know what, actually, fuck it, yeah, we'll be America. We'll play against them. This is all very similar. Oh, we got stadiums now. Represented by slider. I've never seen that option shown in slider form before. But it does go from, you can go left, right, and then carry over. Okay. Euro center. Yeah, let's do it in the rain. I haven't had a lot of games in the rain. Gevlin, Enker, Marlin, Degum, Skull, Godin. It's not Phil Foden, I know that much. These are not real players. But how does this game play? That is the question that I'm very intrigued about. Oh my god, look at that! Wow, no expenses spared. Oh, that looks... Oh, no. Oh, okay. I mean, the pitch looks horrendous. I don't know what is going on with that music. These are the best character models we've had so far. What the fuck is going on? I feel like I'm being led to war. Okay, well this plays a lot better. That's without saying. There's a really weird half a second delay though between when the player gets the ball and when they actually like do whatever the next action is. Why is someone constantly firing a gun? I know I'm playing America, but come on now. Keep politics out of my football games. Ah. I've never heard a soundtrack like this before. Well, it shouldn't come as any surprise that of the three Game Boy / Game Boy Color games, this is the best of the three of them. It's still a little bit slow, but in a different kind of way, and it's just in between like the notes of players picking up the ball. But thankfully, the frame rate is a lot smoother. I need to play another game just to see like if this pitch is just how the game looks. Like, how, because if that's so, that is an insane decision color-wise for the field. And this music is, like, it's obviously trying to do like the crowd participation thing, but I don't know. I'm not sure if that's the smartest choice for like the limited options that the Game Boy Color has to work with, you know? What a perplexing game. I feel I had more questions than answers for this. Like, you've got the music here, you could have just done something like this. It feels... It kind of reminds me of like... Like, I recognize that beat, don't get me wrong. It kind of reminds me of, like, some of the PlayStation games, like Karushi, where in the demo release, it had no soundtrack. So it felt infinitely more terrifying because you were basically in this giant black void with no music, and it was just, like, the sounds of your footsteps and, like, screaming when you fell off the platform. And then obviously, you know, when the official game came out, the soundtrack has this kind of giant orchestral score. And that works in its own way, but there was something about the isolationist of, like, the no soundtrack that it just gave it a totally different vibe. It's like Doom. Like, the PlayStation version of Doom has, like, this real kind of somber, bleak, moody soundtrack that just gives a totally different vibe against, you know, what Doom is soundtrack-wise. Because I feel like if you had a slightly more upbeat track, oh man, it's just kind of score. If you had a slightly upbeat track, you wouldn't have. Because the thing as well, I think because you've got like the way the pitch looks, and because of the music, it feels like I'm watching two football teams or a bunch of people like play a game that they're being forced to do against their will. Like this is some kind of like cruel experiment, or again, it's like, you know, kind of like a war thing. And I am obviously reading far too much into it because I played like nearly 50 fucking football games, and I have to find different ways to approach these games in terms of my takes. But, you know, maybe this is all just a social experiment on me. This feels like it's the hardest game to score in. I know I was saying in the last episode that there are games like the Game Boy Color 3 Lions game that I have no no recollection of, even though I only played that a couple of episodes ago. I feel like I'm gonna remember this one for a while. This one stands out. It's a very, very perplexing game in terms of some of its like design choices. Oh, it's in! It's in! Or maybe they're doing like a Eurobeat kind of thing, you know? I just can't tell. I can't believe they've held over the, like, watching the computer make its decisions from the console games. That's insane. Right, just hold off for 30 seconds. Or maybe we can get another one in. Nah. Fuck that one up. And then it's just a juxtaposition with, like, the music, you know? Absolute madness. We did do a win. We did do a win. You know, just for my own interest, I want to see if the penalty kicks work the same way as they did in the first ISS. Oh, a little fade in there. That was nice. Why is my player so tiny? Oh, this is a holdover. I remember this. Never mind. Do these keepers move? Okay, they do. Oh my god, this is terrible. This is so much worse than that first ISS game. Alright. We've seen what we needed to see here. Fucking hell. Let's close that down. Okay. ISS 2000 for the Game Boy Color. What a weird little game you are. You play fine. Like, I can't say this is a game that I want to go and play again, but of the three, it is by far the most playable and functional. But we are grading on a severe curve here. Presentation-wise, it looks okay, but just the choices of the music, that's going to stick with me for some time, I think. But none of these have really like blown me away in a way where there was a choice of words there for a second. In a way, like, you know, FIFA Road to World Cup '98 for the Game Boy is something that I could sit down and actually like play a couple of rounds of and come away and like feel like I enjoyed my time with it. I don't think I would do that with this one. So far, all these handheld ISS games are really I'm I'm pretty disappointed. I got to be honest. And I think because, again, I always kind of say River City Soccer Hooligans is like the kind of middle point, because like that's a really interesting approach, but it's just a terrible game to play. This is better to play than River City Soccer Hooligans, but it's a boring game. So I'm going to put you right above, because Mia Hamm was just like, you know what? Yeah, because you are still better than, like... I don't think I want to have you right next to ISS, the original, because that... It's definitely better than that. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Holy shit. Next episode, it will be the 50th episode, so I'm gonna have to think about what we do for the 50th installment of this, because that's got to be a big one, right? That's got to be something fairly substantial. So I guess we'll have a think about that and then make that decision at that time. We'll leave that there for now. Thank you very much for watching and supporting the channel as you have, and liking and watching the videos. It's been really, really great. Really appreciate it. Please like, please subscribe, and we'll see you again for another installment of the Beautiful Gamepad. Cheers.